Hello everybody and welcome to the Royal Chess YouTube channel. My name is Kanovsky and this is part 9 of my serial about endgames with opposite card bishops on the board. Today we shall see the endgame which was played by one of the great experts at endgames at all, Grandmaster Yuri Averbach. And this is another very nice endgame, very nice position, and of course very instructive way how you can win the endgame with opposite card bishops on the board, which can be seen at the first moment as drawing, because here in this position, as you can see, black is 2 pawns up, but on the other hand both pawns are on the same file, and it seems that white has got a good defending position in here, and in fact let's say fortress, because c2 square just cannot be protected by black dark card bishop, of course, and it seems that on the king side there is absolutely no way for black how to create another passed pawn, which is of course the main goal for black in this endgame. But the truth is that black has got a really nice way how to create a passed pawn on the king side, but of course black needs to play really precisely, and of course it is really important to use some small tactical ideas in this position and in this endgame. So we can see, of course, how the game was played by Yuri Averbach. King e5 was played in here. It is quite easy move. Bishop c2 and king f4. And of course, black king cannot make any progress on the queen side with its passed c pawn. So he tries to go into the king side, of course, and here it is really important that black bishop is already on g3, because in fact this is the key thing for black, that black bishop is blockading pawn on g2, so white cannot play g4 in this position. And here after bishop b1 it is already time to play bishop h2. With an idea of king g3, of course, and here after g4, king g3, white is just losing pawn on h3. It is quite clear. So white needs to play king f2. But here the first really nice tactical blow is coming for black. I mean, first tactical idea. And here it still seems that white can defend his king side, but bishop g1 is a very nice move. And in fact white cannot take the bishop, because after taking on g1, king e3 would be played, of course, with king g2, c2 coming, and here it is great for black that he's got another c pawn on c7, and of course black is easily winning a pawn endgame with a pawn up. So after bishop g1, white needs to play king e2. So he needs to let black king on g3, and after king f1 here is another important moment for black. He needs to make another precise move, and it is bishop f2. And this move is precise because after bishop c2 it still seems quite fine for white, because you can think, okay, black king is on g3, that's fine, but what else? White bishop is easily protecting c2 square, white king is easily protecting g2 pawn, so what can I do with it? But here another nice tactical idea is coming, and black is playing f5 in this position. At the first point of view, it seems impossible because white can just take the pawn, of course. But after taking on f5, black can gain a decisive tempo by king f4, and of course white has no time to take on f2 because of king f5, and again black is of course easily winning pawn endgame. But after bishop c2, king e3, again black king is coming into d2, and here it is here it can be seen why bishop f2 is so important move, because without bishop on f2 white would play king e1, of course. So that's the reason why you need to play bishop f2, so you are protecting e1 square from white king. So after f5, white cannot take on f5. He needs to make another waiting move, so bishop b1 was played. But after f4, bishop g6, bishop e3. Another really great idea is that here it is a Zugzwang for white. We have already seen some Zugzwangs, and we have already mentioned that Zugzwang is one of the most important ideas in this type of endgame. And here white has no useful move, because after king e2, pawn on g2 is falling, of course, but white bishop cannot protect both c2 and h5 moves anymore. And of course it is more important to protect c2, so he needs to play, let's say, bishop c2, which was played, but black can play h5. After bishop f5, one more move for black is c5, and after bishop g6, here it is probably the last moment when black needs to play precisely, and when you can fall into the drawing position by black. And it seems that black position is prepared enough for g4, but in fact g4 is a mistake, and after g4 black is only drawing this endgame. The reason is that after taking on g4 and taking with the king, and king e2, king g3, here of course bishop e4 is a mistake for white, because here c2 is coming, very nice move, and after taking on g2, black is winning, because we already know that this is one of the important theoretical position with opposite colored bishops on the board, and we already know that with two bishop pawns, and if bishop of the weaker side is not making one diagonal defense, the position is quite easily winning for a stronger side. But after king g3, so in this position, white is not playing bishop e4, but king f1 is the right move, and only after bishop f2, bishop e4 in here. And the big difference is that after c4, king e2 can be played, and after c2, of course not taking on c2, because after king g2 we have again a dividing position for black, but king d2 is the key move, and of course white is easily drawing, because white king is just taking on c2, or let's say c1. White bishop is still protecting g2 pawn, and of course with only one pawn up, black has absolutely no chance to win this position. So this is the reason why g4 is not a good idea for black, and surprisingly the right move for black and the right idea here is to play h4. It is really interesting and really let's say a bit weird, because here it seems that black cannot make any progress at all on the king side, because how black could be able to play g4 when white is protecting a g4 square by 2 pawns. But the truth is that after bishop f5, here it is important to mention that after bishop e4, c4 is coming with another Zugzwang. And after bishop f5, white is protecting g4 square with 3 pieces already, with 2 pawns and 1 bishop. But still, and it is really great, still g4 is coming by black. So even 3 pieces are not enough to protect black from playing g4. Beautiful idea, because the truth is that taking with a bishop is impossible, of course, because of c2 and c1 and promoting c pawn into the queen. But after taking with one of white pawns, black is already making another passed pawn for him. So for example, after taking with f pawn, black is playing f3, of course, and after taking on f3, taking on h3 with creating h pawn and a winning position. And after taking on g4 with h pawn, which was played in the game, h3 of course, and taking on f3. And finally, the main goal was achieved by black. So it means creating another passed pawn on the king side. And of course, now white is having 2 passed pawns also, 2 connected passed pawns, but without king support, it is really easy to stop these 2 white pawns. And after g5, king g3, g6, bishop d4 was played, of course, by black. And after h4, black even really doesn't need to take on h4. He can easily play f3. And after h5, bishop g7. And you can see that both white passed pawns are easily protected by black bishop. And after king e1, f2, and of course after king f1, king f3, black king is easily going on d2, then playing c2, and of course black is winning again thanks to another c pawn, which would be promoted into the queen very soon. So this is really another beautiful endgame. So thank you for Yuri Averbach to play this endgame to win really instructively. So it is another great example. If we go back to the starting position, that here you can really think that white should be able to draw the position quite easily. But as you could have seen, that is not true, and in fact the position is winning for black by a very nice plan, and of course some and thanks to some nice tactical ideas. So as I have mentioned at the right beginning of this whole serial, it is the truth that many endgames with opposite colored bishops on the board are drawing, but on the other hand, many of them which seem drawing are in fact not drawing, and can be winning for a stronger side, as for example this position, this endgame. So I hope you have enjoyed this endgame. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking my videos. Thank you for liking Royal Chess YouTube channel, of course. And one more part of this serial is coming. So see you next time throughout part 10 of this serial about opposite colored bishops on the part in endgames. Thank you again and see you.